Welcome back. The Easter weekend is a time when many people will be traveling to visit loved ones and families, and some will be going to holiday destinations. It is a time to look forward to for many of us, but the tragic part is that many more lives are going to be lost on the roads than the average weekend, and I may be wrong on that one. We'll check in a moment. Various campaigns have been run to raise awareness about road safety issues, but somehow that has not influenced the rate of collisions and fatalities on South African roads. So we're asking, what are the plans for this weekend? And will we ever get on top of this situation? To talk more about this, I'm joined by Mr. Zwane, the spokesperson of the Road Traffic Management Corporation. Brasai, pleasure to have you with us, Mr. Zwane.
You're welcome, David.
Thank you, Sai. Now, last year, Easter, I think the fatality rate was 51% more than the previous year of 2016.
No.
Going by the old reports, or did we distort it in the media at the time? Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. Tell me.
Last year,
yeah,
there was, yes, an increase, but it's around 6%.
6%.
Yeah, so we had been sitting on 245, and last year went to 256,
okay.
Yes.
All right, so it was 245, 2016?
Yeah. 256.
Okay, but apparently the situation improved moderately this past festive season, the Christmas holidays of 2017. Is that correct?
It is correct, but let's start by looking at the Easter period 2015.
Yeah.
Because that's the baseline we'll be using this Easter. Then we had 333.
Okay, yeah.
So you can see it's coming down.
Yes.
It went down by about 25% to 245 in 2016. It went a little bit up to last year.
Yes.
So, but if you look into festive season this year, we've come down again by another 11%.
Yeah.
So we've got reason to be hopeful. The plans have been put in place. As we speak, we know which routes will be busy. We've had interactions with the bus operators, with taxi operators. We know what time will buses be leaving, for instance, from Gauteng to go to Moria. We know what time they will be leaving, and each and every bus will be checked if it is roadworthy. If it's not roadworthy, it's not going to leave the depot. So that's the kind of plan that has been put to place, because we don't want to take chances. We know around Easter, we normally see a spike in the number of passengers that die, and that is because people are traveling to these pilgrimages, and there are many in these vehicles. So as a result, one accident that happens, that pushes up the number of passengers that are dying. So we want to take care of that, to make sure that on the major routes there will be safety, so that we can also focus in the residential areas where we are also experiencing problems.
Now, just for purposes of perspective, what are the number of fatalities per year in South Africa, or collisions, depending which indicator you think gives a better sense of road safety in South Africa?
Well, we're sitting around 13,000 fatalities per year in South Africa.
Yeah.
That comes around 40 a day.
Which is quite a substantial number.
It's a substantial number. And it will fluctuate, obviously, depending on the number of days, on the day of the week and all of that. And we know long weekends are problematic. Payday weekends, when people have had money, they are a problem. And that talks to the influence of alcohol. Because when people have been paid, they consume a lot of alcohol, and that leads to accidents. But big concern is the accidents that are happening within residential areas. Because that means we need to focus there, because it's where young children, elderly people get knocked by vehicles. There is something that needs to be done within those residential areas to bring the numbers down.
I want to focus on that for a moment, and we'll work our way back to what happens over the pay weekends or the long weekends. Because when we talk about road safety, the awareness campaigns are ramped up during that time, and then we believe, and I'm speaking on behalf of all of us, that everything is okay. as long as it's not a long weekend, then we are safe on the roads, and then we go back to our old habits. But we have we have good numbers of people dying every day as a result of things going on in our neighborhoods, right?
Yes.
You say in residential areas we still see a large number of deaths, the traffic deaths happening. What could be the reason behind that? What goes on within the build-up areas?
It's alcohol, the use of cell phones. Sometimes it's lack of pavements, so people are sharing the same spaces with vehicles. It's also at intersections where when there is not a proper control at intersections, people get knocked there. But there's also a phenomenon where we give our cars, parents give cars to their kids who are not experienced drivers, and they are driving here in the residential areas, and they would knock other people down. Of course, there will be a problem of corruption. People have bought their vehicles, they are not used to driving.
And they don't leave their neighborhoods, they just drive.
Yes, they're driving around to get familiar
Yeah.
with driving, and that's when accidents would happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Because sometimes when we think about road safety, as I indicated, we think it is for out there for long weekends. It's for people who will be traveling long distance. And even pedestrians, for instance, we don't look after ourselves, and the fatalities are very high in that category of people.
Even pedestrians, you see people walking around with earphones in their ears, playing music, not aware of what's happening around them, and they also walking onto the road and
casually crossing the streets without checking and so on. Yeah.
Not crossing where it is safe to do so, and that also creates problems. But we also increasingly finding also that there are settlements that are being built closer to busy highways, and those people have to cross. The settlement is on one side, and amenities like shops and church and everything is on the other side, and they are forced, those people, to cross the road, and then that accidents happen. But the worrying thing is that they will also be using unsafe crossing areas, even where a bridge has been provided. We find that it's not being used. They're crossing where it is not safe to do so.
Yeah.
We can provide you sometimes with footage. You'll see.
Yes.
You'll see people. They are also cutting fences that have been put there for their own safety, to discourage them from crossing but they're not using the pedestrian bridge that's been provided.
Yeah. And it's very difficult at night to estimate the distance of the oncoming car anyway, and the speed thereof. Tips that you would like to share with us from the Road Traffic Management Corporation's point of view for particularly people who will be traveling long distances? What should they note?
What they should note is really to make sure that those vehicles are roadworthy to start with. The tires, the lights, wipers in good working condition. We know it's been raining over the last couple of days. Probably will be raining over this weekend. So plan to leave early. The rain was going to delay you. It's no use rushing. All passengers in the vehicles must use their safety belts. If we could do that, the number of passengers dying would come down.
And of course, speed itself.
And speed.
And your condition as a driver.
And also the phone. Let's put that phone at the back of the in the cabby hole or somewhere. Don't use text. Don't use the phone while driving.
Well, I suppose road safety should concern all of us. It's not the Road Traffic Management Corporation's problem alone. It is our lives, after all, that we've got to take care of, including when we are pedestrians, right?
Yes.
Don't be casual when you cross the road, and during merrymaking think that you are the king or the queen of the road. You'll get knocked down. Yeah. Parents, be careful. Do not give your children cars or let them drive unsupervised.
Yes. That's the key.
That's the key. Sure.
Yeah.
And of course, that's do okay. Even in our townships, our villages, all kinds of residential areas, accidents do occur there and lives get lost. So pay attention when you are traveling or using the roads. Simon Zwane is the spokesperson of the Road Traffic Management Corporation, and thank you very much for having been our guest on the program. And that's all we had for you tonight, and we trust you'll take advice that we gave this evening. And from us, good night to you.